The man on the plane turned his head and told the woman to turn off her mobile phone or it might interfere with the instruments. But the woman didn't believe him. She took out her headphones and put them on. Then she took out her mobile phone and turned up the volume. Worse still, she unbuckled her seatbelt and fell asleep in her chair. But it was this action that led to the disaster. Shortly after, the woman was awakened by the plane's turbulence and looked out the window to see that the plane was traveling at a very low altitude. The dashboards are scrambling and the alarms are blaring due to the electricity from her mobile phone. She tries to help, but as soon as she reaches out, the engine blows up and the plane lurches again, throwing the woman backwards. The captain rushes her to fasten her seatbelt. As soon as the woman had fastened her seatbelt, the plane sliced through a tree and plummeted uncontrollably, giving them no time to react and crashing heavily into the lake. Miraculously, the woman came back to life hanging upside down from her seat, but the plane was seeping water, and if it filled up, it would sink quickly, unexpectedly. The woman quickly unbuckled her seatbelt and rained down the scarf on her head, looking around in fear. She was surprised to find that her boyfriend and the captain were also lucky to be alive. But she was soon overjoyed when the captain's foot was pierced by a steel pipe. But her boyfriend had survived by opening the hatch and escaping. The result is a massive lake flooding the cabin, and it's sinking at a rapid rate. However, it was impossible for the women to pull out the tubes with their bare hands. The water quickly rose above their heads and the captain suffocated. The woman also felt her lungs about to explode and had to abandon him, but she finally managed to swim out of the water before she suffocated. But the danger didn't end there. Her boyfriend, who didn't know how to swim, jumped right on top of her. Finally, he pushed her into the water and almost drowned them both. Luckily, the woman was a good swimmer and managed to bring him to shore with her hands on his back. However, disaster always comes one after another. She accidentally discovered that her boyfriend's thigh was pierced by a piece of steel, which seemed to have hit the ater and was pouring out blood. The woman was horrified. She tried to pull out the piece of steel, but when she touched it, the man was in pain and stopped the woman from doing so if she pulls it out. Her boyfriend will die of blood loss, but soon the woman in a hurry. She found a stick tear off a section of the scarf and then wrapped the scarf around the thighs of the stick. Inserted in the middle of the screwing successfully stopped the blood, but the boyfriend fainted due to blood loss. When the woman suddenly thought of something, she put her coat on the ground and took out her mobile phone to call for help. But in the middle of nowhere, there was no signal, but the unbelieving woman took her and her boyfriend's mobile phones and ran towards the top of the hill and pointed them at the sky. But not only did she not get a signal, looking at the mountains in the distance made her fall into deep despair, but even more desperate is yet to come.